is time for the one, the only, the incredible Renee Zukin to come up and start sharing her love and wisdom. Hello, Renee.
Hi, Des. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, I just seeing all your faces pop in kind of took my breath away. I may have teared up a little bit behind that behind that camera. So grateful for each and every one of you showing up here for this day, this book, this message, and for me too. Just filling my heart with so much gratitude. And if you would like to take a moment with me and just ground in, I invite you to put yourself in gallery mode if you aren't already seeing everybody's beautiful faces. And I just want to land here together because nobody is doing this life alone. And that's one of the powerful messages of this book. And one of the things that I know to be true is that things like anxiety and depression can tell us that we're alone. It can feel very isolating, and it's simply not true. So whether it's, a family member, a friend, a teacher, a therapist, a book, a podcast, somebody sits next to you on the bus, there is a connection there for you, and you're not doing this alone. And it takes bravery to reach out when you're struggling. And if, there is anything I want to kind of drive home today, it is that connection, that deep connection that we all share. So as I'm sitting here looking at all your beautiful faces, I just am so honored that you're here and that you will become a champion of the message of bravery, of, the fact that we can be scared and show up anyway. My whole body is shaking right now. I'm both excited and nervous all at once. And I'm just so thrilled. And thank you for all the comments in the chat. I cannot even keep up. So I will make sure that I save it and download it so I can go back and read it later. Oh, you all look so beautiful. Deep breath, everybody. Deep breath. Today is also a pretty powerful day. It is August 8th, 8/8. Some of you may be familiar or have heard of something called the Lion's Gate. Some of you maybe never have, and this is just any other day to you. All good, either way. All things are true. And I am so honored to welcome somebody who can give us a little inspiration and information about what this day holds. So regardless of where you stand in your love for astrology, there is no doubt that today feels pretty potent in the cosmos. And I am so thrilled to welcome Renee Varnador. She and I have been colleagues and sisters on this path of entrepreneurship, of self-empowerment and growth and learning and writing alongside each other, really for about 5 years now. I met her 5 years ago. She is a galactic astrologer. She loves playing with the stars, and she has so many beautiful messages that she shares with her clients. And I am so honored to welcome Renee to the spotlight so she can give us her wisdom about what this 8/8 Lionsgate portal really is today. So welcome, Renee. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you, Renee. I'm so excited to be here. I mean, when I heard that you were going to launch this book on 8/8, I was like, oh, that is such a powerful day for this book, because the 8/8 Lionsgate is in the middle of Leo season, which is all about looking within the essence of us. And that's exactly what you did to create this book. The book called you from within, and you brought it up and out. And that's what the energy of Lionsgate gives all of us. So you're birthing your book, you're launching your book on this beautiful beautiful point of being able to come from within. And Lionsgate has to do with the star Sirius, which is our spiritual sun. So our sun has a spiritual sun. It's the closest sun to our sun, and it just illuminates all of this beautiful, beautiful energy within us so that we can see inside our heart. And I know this book came from inside your heart. That's the best kind. And then today, tomorrow's the actual full moon, but today we're in the full moon energy, and the full moon energy, the meditation question is, what is being illuminated? And so we've got all this illumination, all of this ability for us to see in what was dark and what was separate and what kept us feeling alone, when really all of this light is around us, supporting us. And this book is helping us step out of the fear and into the light. And that's why I feel like it's so important that it happening and being launched on Lionsgate. So I'm just really happy. I know just being in your presence, I've been in your program, your writing program, and you gave us the most amazing prompts. And I was so glad to hear that your book is full of prompts, because those light the way. And that's how you're being of service with this book. This just isn't just a book that came from within you and you're talking about you. This is of service. And one of the prompts that you gave us when I was in your writing program, all of a sudden I'm like, I am not going to hide things from myself anymore. And that opened up my larger portion of my soulful self. And I know your book came from your soul. And so I started to write in ways I'd never written before for your group, and we got to present it and perform those pieces and everything. And then of course I ended up in the writer's room, which is amazing because there's so many wonderful people like you there holding space. You went through this huge transformation to be able to hold space for all of us, so that all of us could stand up and all of us could move through our fears. And I just feel like you're so important, and this book is so important. As somebody who suffered and got diagnosed with anxiety and depression, this book is very important, because the more we all step out of our fear and step into our bigger soulful self, the better this whole world is going to be. So thank you so much, Renee, for what you do for all of us and the service that you give.
Thank you for that beautiful reflection. I received that, Renee, and thank you for all the wisdom you just shared about this important and powerful day as we enter a new era. And I love that you mentioned that prompt and what came through for you about not hiding from yourself. And that's one thing fear can really do, is keep us in the dark, keep parts of us in the dark. And this is such a powerful time to take stock, listen, right, to that still small voice within, even when it's really hard to hear, and to take that one brave next step forward. So thank you, Renee, for your bravery, for your amazing brave work in this world. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And there are so many of you here who are doing your own brave work in this world, and I honor it. And I am thrilled to be on the path alongside you, whether you're here as an entrepreneurial sister doing that work, whether you're here as a family member, or somebody in the education space, somebody who's just showing up because you know there's something better and greater than what it's been feeling like. I know it's been a tough one out there for a lot of us. This world is, there's a lot going on here. So it makes sense that we're feeling a lot of this tension and uncertainty, and it takes courage to show up for yourself, for each other, and to continue to have hope in a time that feels really hopeless, because there is hope. there is joy. We can, joy is the resistance. I keep hearing people around me saying this phrase. And if we can be in a place to be brave enough and reclaim that, we're really holding the both and. This is, this lifetime is full of dualities and dichotomies. And the braver and stronger we get, the more we can hold space for that. And I'm just buzzing, y'all. I'm just buzzing. So, deep breath, shake it out. It's so good. This is a book launch party. We do have a book launching. I have mine. It's all, here it is. We're going to get to the part where you get to ask questions. I'm going to read a little bit. I'm going to share some links. Some of you in the US have already pre-ordered your books. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Those of you outside the US, your links came live in my inbox. No joke, 45 minutes ago. Nobody was freaking out. Don't worry. Nobody was freaking out. It is available on Kindle as well. So yes, all those things will be you'll have options for sure for getting it in your hands as soon as possible. And so excited. Yes, divine timing indeed. Yes, hopefully for those of you who pre-ordered, hopefully they ship. If you are international, the shipping may take longer if you were able to order the hard copy or the hardcover. The international links today are actually paperback. I won't get into the details about why that is so, but let's just say it was a wise business decision that I made. And if you are interested in the publishing side of things, I'm happy to answer questions about that during our little Q&A portion. But I think I'm just gonna kick off by reading a little bit about to give you a sense. Some of you have been along on the journey, on the book writing journey with me, and know a little bit about that. And some of you have no idea what this book is about. Some of you are in the book, and I appreciate your allowing me to be present in the storytelling. So deep bow to all to you for that. And I just want to kind of tap into this piece in the introduction as a way to invite you into the story and what every day I'm brave really means, how this phrase was born, which was over a decade ago. It's been swimming around. So for any of you who've been feeling like you've got a book tapping you on the shoulder and things just keep talking to you and whispering, divine timing is a thing, right? And pay attention to those whispers because something is coming through, even if it takes a decade. Oh, good. No shame. No shame, because this was the right time. So a little bit of background before I read this piece. I was at a time in my life, I was working a corporate education job. I had a partner who traveled the world internationally, often hopping on planes here and there, doing all sorts of brave, courageous, beautiful work around the world. It was great. My friends around me, everybody was living their best lives. And I was in a place where I was feeling pretty stuck and crummy. I'd scroll through social media. I'd see, all these people I knew. Oh, they took a girls' trip for the weekend. They all got on an airplane and went to Mexico and had a party. And that's something I hadn't done. And, getting on an airplane was on my no way, never again list for a couple of decades. So, I was just in this place where I was constantly comparing myself to the people around me. And I got a little tired of myself. It may have come out outwardly, but really I was tired of myself here. And so I bring you into this moment where I had just dropped my partner off at the airport. He was off and running. And I got to work. And here we go. When I finally got to the office building, I headed to the break room first to wash my hands before taking my breakfast to my cubicle. As I pumped soap into my palm, the internal monologue got louder and more potent. You know what? It's fucking brave that I got out of bed today. It's fucking brave that I'm even about to eat this breakfast despite being afraid of what might be in it. And it's brave that I got my kids to school on time despite the morning chaos. I diligently scrubbed in between my knuckles and pumped the soap dispenser again for a second round of washing. It's also brave that I continue to show up here in this soul-sucking job day after day because I'm responsible and I prioritize my kids, making sure this family runs well enough to keep a roof over our heads. My left hand swirled suds deep into the crevices of my right palm and then moved to the fingertips. It's brave that despite the swirling fear in my head and the panic that ensues without notice on a regular basis, I continue to show up in my life every day. Switching hands, I paid close attention underneath my fingernails before rinsing the soap a final time. You know what? I paused and felt the warm water spilling out of my hands into the sink. I am fucking brave. I don't need to ride in airplanes or travel the world or walk a tightrope or feed a shark to be brave. I am brave every single day. I took a deep breath and walked out of the room toward my cubicle, standing a little taller than before. This wasn't the first pep talk I'd given myself, but it was certainly different. This idea that I could be proud of the little things I did to make my way through the anxiety I faced regularly would help me forge a path forward toward transforming my relationship with fear in the years ahead. And I'll pause there. So that's when Every Day I'm Brave was born. And it really did become this mantra, this way of changing how I looked at what I was capable of. This idea that bravery is a spectrum and what's brave for one person isn't, doesn't have anything to do with what's brave for you. And even bravery can feel and look different one day than it does the next, or sometimes can shift in an hour or a moment, right? So that's a little introduction there. And I think too, yeah, thanks. The little moments. Let's take a moment and kind of pause. I'm happy to take some questions. I would love to know, and thank you, Megan Walrod, who's here, who just also wrote a beautiful book that came out in June. Go get it. But I went to her book launch party last week and she said, here are some things you can ask me about. And I said, I'm stealing that. So thank you, Megan, for that, because I do want to let you know what are some things you can ask me about. So certainly you can ask me about anything that just came up for you in what I just read. You can ask me about the writing process if you want to get kind of nitty gritty on the writing or publishing process. You can ask me, obviously this is memoir. This is about my life. In addition to, as Renee Varnador mentioned, there are journal prompts to help you learn from the lessons I've learned along the way. So there are questions that you could ask about my life as it relates to anxiety. I do also have an obsessive compulsive disorder diagnosis. My diagnoses don't define me. They are a part of me, but they are not me. So I'm happy to answer any of those questions. And then if you think of something that doesn't fit that category, I'll let you know if I can answer it. So you're welcome to, if you want to raise your digital hand, if you want to drop it in the chat, happy to answer. Oh, great question. Yes. So some of you don't know, I was a former middle school and high school English teacher. Did I ever share my diagnoses with my students? Yes and no. So typically, if I did, it was usually in a one-on-one conversation because a student themselves were struggling. I had a lot of students who had, different challenges with learning behavior, social emotional needs, and whether it was a small group or discussing ways to stay organized and motivated and not let all the anxiety, ruin your ability to be successful at school. I would definitely share that I had anxiety, and that was an experience that I often felt. And I would do so also with a tip or a tool. So for me, my disclosing was first a part of being able to connect with my students. So, they understood that I understood to a point. Certainly some generational differences there. But then also because things that I've done that have worked, I was able to share with them and work with it. So great question. Thank you, Taryn. It's good to see you. So many educators on this call. I love it. Keep doing it. I know it's hard. We need the good ones. Oh, all right. Thank you, Ro. Yes, I feel that. All right, Brenda has a question. How did you get out of bed at those times when life is overwhelming? The hits keep coming and each day gets harder. That is a wonderful question, Brenda. And it wasn't easy. So one thing I've learned over the years is that I have to remind myself that this too shall pass. That even if it feels impossible and I just want to hide under the covers, I have like no energy to get out of the bed, I just don't want to do what's in front of me. I remind myself that I've been here before, and I look at the evidence of what has occurred when I did make the choice to get out of bed and how that shifted things. One thing, especially with anxiety, is it can keep you feeling really immobile. And it's like, trudging through sludge to, even do the small things. And so if it feels impossible, that's where our lifelines come in. Send the text that you've been writing and deleting and writing and deleting. And if that resonates with you, I've been there, right? Because you feel like you don't want to burden somebody else. But you know what? Your people want to be there for you. So don't be afraid to show up. And music has been is a game changer. It shifts our mood. Play some music. They have in one of the chapters, I love this question. And one of the chapters, the prompts at the end of the slow down. The prompts at the end of the chapter have you creating a list of things or like a bucket of these tools of what you can do when it just feels so impossible. And so you don't have the burden of trying to remember what worked. You could just open that toolbox or the notes app where you listed all your stuff. And yeah, it's coming to you, Brenda. Sending you big love. Love it, love it. Thank you. All right. Some other questions. Oh yeah, quicksand. That's a good. Describe publishing process and if you were happy with it. Yes. And then I saw another one down here. When did you decide get it? Oh, that's a different thing. I thought there was another publishing one. Nope. Okay. So great question. I loved the process with my publisher. So the book is printed by Wonderwell Press. which is an imprint of a larger hybrid publishing company called Greenleaf Publishing Group. And it's a beautiful mix of traditional and self-publishing. And one of the things that I loved about working with Wonderwell, especially, was their editors. Their editorial team were like the best humans on earth. And you don't find that everywhere. So I feel very lucky. They got it. They understood what I was trying to do. I was very resistant to the timeline. So here's, for those of you who know me, and if you don't know me very well, I'm a self-proclaimed rebel in parts, right? Parts of me are very rebellious and resistant. I am an Aries. I have a lot of fiery warrior. You can't tell me what to do energy. And one of the things that I have learned over the last, well, especially like 5 years, right, is when that part serves me and when that part is the part holding me back. So I was so resistant to this book taking longer than I wanted it to. And if any of you are feeling that impatience about a project, let me just say, trust the process. And this is one of the reasons why I knew actually that this hybrid publisher was the one for me, because in the conversation before I signed on the dotted line, one of the people I was speaking with said, when I was kind of butting up against, well, are you sure I can't, maybe in the fall of 2024, that feels like, so, going in this back and forth. And he said, look, Renee, you can either do this fast or you can do it right. Yeah. And maybe he said, well, I don't know. The idea is the same, right? You can either do it fast or you can do it well. And I was like, you're hired. You're right. I want to do this right. And so at every step along the way, there was definitely this like, okay, it's not working in what, parts my mind wants it to do, what I look at the calendar and I want everything to fall into the right perfect spot. And, and then I finally like surrendered and let go. And then once we got through and the manuscript was done and we got the publication timeline, like for real. And I was like, this is a Lionsgate book. This is why it took me 3 years from the time I got serious and said, I'm doing it, to the time it has arrived. So honoring that process. So that's just kind of the short version, Vashti. Thank you for your question. And for anybody who is out there kind of wondering, do I want to self-publish? Do I want to hybrid publish? Do I want to get an agent and get a traditional publisher? Because I know there's a lot of you here who have written books before or are in the middle of writing books. I do have a quick and dirty little side-by-side guide called The Path to Publishing, and it gives you the high level differences between the three. Yeah, I'm making you happy about under 2 years. Good. Yes. Right. Trust the process. Yeah. So yeah, Des is going to drop that link to the Path to Publishing. Oh, she already did. Look at you go. Yay. Thanks, Des. So that's there. If that interests you, feel free to download that. And then if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to chat through the process as well. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? I'm feeling a couple. Let's see. Great question. I actually write about my diagnosis. And I wasn't diagnosed with OCD until my 30s. And so there's a whole bit about that in the book. And it was so enlightening and freeing for me, relieving, not because I had, this label, but because I now understood how my brain was working. And so I knew how to get the right, treatments, therapies, and whatnot, so I could manage it differently than I had been for the first 30 years of my life. Because I looked back and was like, oh, that's why that, that's what that was. Right? All of a sudden, everything in my life made so much more sense. So yes, good. Okay, I'm gonna grab one more question. I just saw it from Megan. Where did it go? What was one of the most surprising challenges you faced when writing your book, and how did you work with it? Surprising challenge. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, there are some people here who are in the book. Thank you, people. Certainly, as memoir, I knew that like writing about real people was going to be a challenge. I knew that I could change names and do the thing, to that you have creative license to do when you write a memoir. And one of the most challenging things for me was seeking the what's it called? Acceptance? No, the permission. There it is, the permissions from a few of the folks who are closest to me in a lot of ways, to be willing to show up in the book with their real names. Certainly, I wrote the story so that it's not really about them, but they're the characters in, the learning that comes from the story. But that was very challenging. And when, of course, I got the yes after yes after yes, I was like washed over with such deep gratitude for those yeses. And I'll savor that for the rest of my life. Oh, and I see more people have been hopping in, and I just am so thrilled you're here. And oh my goodness, I'm just gonna look at your faces. Hi. Oh. Okay, it's 10:40. I want to keep this to an hour because everybody has full and exciting lives. No, bet you do. And I want to make sure that we get you the links. So I think I'm kind of going to change up just the order of things, because I am excited to get you all the links to purchase your book. So this is, let me just show you. I'm going to pull this up. In a moment, I'm going to have Des put this link in the chat, but I want to show you how to navigate this document, because here today is a document. Let me move all your faces. You can see lots of different options here. If you don't see your country, I don't know, maybe if you're close to another country, you share Amazon. I don't know if that's a thing, but if you just go into Amazon, if you don't see your country, go into Amazon, search for Every Day I'm Brave. You may still be able to order either a hard copy that will take some time to get delivered, or certainly the Kindle version hopefully is also available for you. If you are in the US, you're going to open this document and click over here to the book page. There we go. Because you've got a couple options here in the US for where to purchase your book. So just wanted to let you know how to navigate that. And of course, I'm honored and thrilled that you want to purchase this book. And certainly, once you read it, if it moves you, please do share with your friends and loved ones. Maybe even before you read it, from whatever you've heard today, you're like, yes, this is for the world. And also an open invitation to write an Amazon review if you've never done one before. They're fairly simple. They don't need to be long. It can be 1, 2, 3 sentences. Give you that 5-star review. And doing so will just help champion the message of this book. It will get it into the hands of people who need it. My desire and my full intention for putting this book out in the world is really to help, other people feel less alone in this struggle and the challenge. And so the more people we have sharing it, the more people who need it can find it. Yeah, I mean, this book was a labor of love, and one of the things that kept me going, and I think perhaps this was also one of the most challenging pieces, because self-doubt creeps in, right? The anxiety creeps in, those voices, that imposter syndrome. Well, who's going to want to read this book? And you're not good enough you're not even healed. Look, you can't even do this. Who's going to listen to you? Right? Right? And I kept coming back to showing up in service, because that was the piece that kept me, in my writing chair. That was the piece that kept me from believing all the, negative thoughts that told me I couldn't do this, or that, nobody was going to like it, or that people were going to come at me, which may still happen. I had to surrender, right, to knowing that, hey, if I get a troll online, thanks, Des Caminos, that means I made it. Des Caminos, visibility coach. Woo, right? If people are responding to you, that means that you've got something good to say. The more love you put out in the world, the more it can return to you. So there's that. All right. If we haven't already, go ahead and drop that link in the chat, so you all can grab there it is. Fantastic. Grab your links to buy. Yes, yes. And just sending you so much gratitude and love for supporting this book and its mission. And as you do so, I do want to read one more little section. And I realized that this was a section that was worthy of reading at a book launch. Marianne, yes, I know. There's the duality of Amazon. I hear you. And, grateful for what's possible there. Anyway, this last piece I'm going to read is from the end of the book. No, it doesn't give away any secrets. No spoilers. That's what I meant. Not secrets, spoilers. But I was recording a podcast episode with Dr. Dan Peters a couple of days ago. It'll be out in a couple of weeks. He hosts the Make It a Great One podcast. He's a psychologist, therapist, and all around cool guy. I got to know him when I hopped in his room to record the podcast, and we had a great conversation. Anyway, one of the things he did, which has never happened to me in my whole entire life, was, I mean, I also hadn't written a book before, but he read a passage to me in the podcast. And I was like, huh, that was such a surreal feeling. Like, I don't even think I have words for it now. but I realized that it really is a key piece to the message of the book. And so for those of you considering, right, purchasing and wanting to know a little more, or just wanting that last piece of insight here, I'll read this little bit from the last chapter. Yeah, I'm going to take a sip of water though, real quick. If you got water, cheers, or whatever you're drinking. Some of you it's coffee time. Some of you it's, I don't know, tea time. Cheers. Some of you it's a nightcap. I see you agree. All right. We are not separate. The whole of everything in the universe connects us. The vibrations of sounds and atoms, the magnetism and mirrors. I rest in the deep knowing I have, and I'm grateful when nature reminds me of that connection. When it feels so hard, when it feels hopeless and dark, there is a comfort in remembering that we are not alone, even when it feels so lonely. This moment and others like it allow me to understand that the fear I experience is part of a deeper purpose I hold. It is the struggle I've known, and also the catalyst that propels me to learn and grow. Again and again, I had to refuse to allow fear to hold me back, and instead learn to appreciate what it was showing me, which is that I no longer have to fear the fear. Instead, I can embrace fear and lean into its lessons and its opportunities. I can allow fear to be there and at the same time open to a perspective of possibility and hope. I can do this by showing up authentically, by being more compassionate to myself and to others, especially when challenges surface. I can seek support and not feel ashamed to ask for help when needed. There is a way through the darkness, and it starts with a willingness to believe that another path is possible, even if we can't quite see it yet. And I'll leave you with that piece. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts and the applause. Thank you for showing up here today. Thank you for showing up for yourselves, because we do the inner work here to see the outer change. When we get to reclaim what is in here and live fully, the world around us responds and changes to it as well. As above, so below. Let the party continue, indeed. On this magnificent and magnetic 8/8 Lionsgate Portal Day, I would love for each and every one of you to think about what is one brave next step you want to take in your life. The smallest step, right? Maybe it's go take a walk for 10 minutes so it clears my head. That's a brave step when it's the last thing you want to do. Maybe it's sit down and write an introduction to the book that's been tapping you on the shoulder. Maybe it's make that phone call you've been putting off, right? So I would love for you all to drop these in the chat, a sentence or two. Oh, hey, Jenna. Jenna is my first ever writing coach. She helped me craft the overall beautiful Shiro's journey of this book. So thank you, Jenna. Yes, and please, all those acknowledgments. I could spend hours acknowledging people all the time. And but yeah, you just popped into my vision. So there you go. Beautiful. Yes. So please drop your brave steps here that you want to take. No step too small, no step too big either. Dream big. Let's go. Let's do this, right? What is one brave step? Carve out 13 minutes a day after meditation. Love it, Marianne. We'll get a few more of these. I'll read them out, and then we're gonna just have a dance party to just, release and let it out and let it go and celebrate and all the ways in which we can, keep this courageous, compassionate, curious feeling going from here on out. I love you. Continue the declutter routine. Oh, Beverly, I love it. Create first video for Instagram. Monica, I see you. Yes. Make the phone call. I've been forgetting. Yes, Bonnie, love it. Beginning your next book. Oh, Dee, so excited for that. Set official book launch day. Agree. I see you. Yes. Cleaning your room for 15 minutes. Yes. And let me tell you, so I'm seeing all these times come through. If you are so stuck in the spinning of like, I have to do this thing, I can't get it, I'm scrolling on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Set a timer. 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I am telling you, you get more done in 15 minutes than the week you've been thinking about doing it. I speak from experience. Oh, yes. Oh, Rachel, yes, your Lionsgate Angel Gathering today. Keep writing without worrying. Beautiful, Diane. Just posted your recommendation. Oh, thanks, Dave. Dave Full, he's my trainer. He's what gives me these guns. No. All right. As these keep coming through, I want you all just go ahead and rub your hands together, get a little energy in there. And I want you to think about your next brave step. And I want you to think about something that you are grateful for. And then I want you to just put those hands, those buzzing hands right there on your heart or on your belly or anywhere that it feels good on your body to do so. Take a deep breath. And just feel that stillness coming in. And if you feel like you want to just wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a little squeeze. Self-compassion can take us anywhere. And Des, when you're ready, Des, my DJ Des, we're going to hit the dance party. We got a couple of great songs to move with us. And as we move and groove, I invite you to just feel what it feels like on the other side of that next brave step. It's going to feel so good. Take the time, order your book, share it if you feel called. So honored and thrilled to be on this life journey with each and every one of you who've shown up. I love you.